Okay, so this is now my third ride of the year, I believe. The weather's not bad, a little bit windy, kind of chilly. I think it's around 16 degrees right now, just a little bit before 4 p.m. So I kicked out of work a little bit early to try to get a little bit of riding in today. And today I think my plan is to go down to the beach. Maybe not to actually spend much time there, but just as a quick destination, go there and come back, and also to test out 2 new things for the camera today. So the first thing that I care is this new microphone. So I'm hooked up with a DJI Mic Mini today. Connected with the USB receiver to my Ace Pro 2. The audio directly from the Ace Pro, it wasn't great, and it caught a lot of road noise. So that made it pretty bad to listen to, especially if you had a subwoofer or maybe headphones. There's a really deep rumble with that. So hopefully shifting over to a dedicated mic is going to improve that. But it's still going to be quite a few days, or maybe weeks, before I'm able to speak in complete sentences while I'm riding. Because so far, I am out of shape. I'm also not sure how well the noise reduction is going to be working. If at all. So what's cool about this this camera, is that it shows a level meter for the microphone when an external is connected. But it looks like it's hitting pretty high already, even when I'm not talking, based solely on the wind, even though I've got the wind cover on it. So I'm not sure how this is going to come across, and I won't find out until I get home. But fingers crossed for the best. Oh my god, gas is $1.80.9. That's pretty high. I thought it was supposed to drop. We'll see tomorrow. Thankfully, I haven't needed to put gas in over a month. It's even less important now that the weather's good. So I can really cut down on my gas usage. So I'm just going down along East Mall right now, southbound just past, I don't know if that was North Queen or Queen Street. I think that was North Queen that I just passed. Should be coming up now on Queensway. I think, where did I pass? Was that Queensway? I think that was Queensway. So now I'm coming up on Evans. And let's see if I can make this light. Just barely. Well, maybe not just barely, a decent amount of time. And now we'll cut into the side streets, which should be better for noise and comfort. But still windy. So the next piece of kit I'm testing out today is a new mount for my camera that lifts it up quite a bit. So it picks the camera up maybe, I don't know, I want to say 8 inches. But it's a pretty cheap Chinese arm extension. And it's shaking around like crazy. So I really don't have high hopes for the quality of this. Like, the camera is bouncing around very substantially. If the image stabilization on this is able to compensate, it's going to be a miracle, because as it stands right now, I've got a really strong feeling the audio, well, not a strong feeling, but a thought at least, that the audio from this is not going to be great, and the video may be completely useless. So if that's the case, I might have to find a different solution. So when I get to the beach, I think I might do a quick review of the footage, have a cut, and see if this is at all usable. I don't think I'll be able to test the audio so well, but at least I can test the video, quickly scrub through it, and see how it looks and if it's too shaky or not. And if it looks terrible, I'll have to just scrap this extension arm, which I think I might anyway, because it's just not wanting to stay vertical. I forgot I gotta cross the street here. Okay. Oh, I'm kind of... Nope. Okay. Maybe I can go now. Ah, I remember now. I'm supposed to come down across Beta Street. Ah. And then from Beta Street, I can cross at a light. It's been a while since I've done this route. So I've forgotten the tricks here. Okay, off of that death trap street. That was unpleasant. I think I still need to cut over one more street. And props to this school bus for giving me loads and loads of space. He was kind of behind me and went out of his way to go slowly or cut over to the other lane. So good on him for not trying to murder me. Wow, there's some broken up cars around here. I don't think I've been this way before. This might be a new street for me. So I think I should probably cut over here. Yeah, 30th Street, okay. Yeah, this is a street I want to be on. And here is a Purelator. Ah, neat. And here we got some nice graffiti. It's not even graffiti, I think these are murals that are paid for by the city of Toronto. Having these murals tends to reduce the amount of graffiti. Graffiti artists tend to like to tag things that aren't art, so they see when something's already done and done nicely, they tend to leave it alone. Thank you. Nice sky. And here we are coming up on Lakeshore now, shortly. This is usually a pretty slow light to cross on. But today I think I'm getting lucky. Very lucky. So let's just
stuff. It's basing it off of like,
cross here. 31st. I think this continues to be the correct direction. The closer that we get to the waterfront, the colder the breeze becomes. I'm just grateful that it's sunny because this would be a pretty broadly miserable ride otherwise, because my face is getting a little cold. My ears are getting a little cold. Okay, park. Okay. And here we are at Lake Promenade. So it's been many months since I've been here. Nice and calm street. We're very happy to share this with cyclists. And this is kind of part of the Martin Goodman Trail. It's not a trail, but it's connecting. Or maybe not the Martin Goodman Trail, that's done, but the Waterfront Trail. So the Martin Goodman Trail is the main connection, across Toronto, which goes from just the other side of Yonge Street, basically all the way out to Mimico, kind of around First Street. And right now we're around 32nd, so that gives you a estimate of how far away we are from the end of Martin Goodman Trail. So for a while, through basically all of Etobicoke, there's no actual dedicated trail. It's just shared roads. Likewise goes for a little bit into Mississauga. There's a little bit of protected trail. And then some yacht club. And then you've got some more shared roads, shared paths, a little bit along Lakeshore that you have to do. And then after Port Credit, I think you get back to some dedicated trails. It's been a minute since I've gone that way. Probably I should head out there this summer. Let's see if I can do my 100K ride out to Hamilton and back this year. The only challenge on that side, it's got a lot more really boring pieces in it. When you do the 100K inside of Toronto, it's always something interesting. Scenery, buildings, whatever. Always something that you can look at. But out going to Hamilton, handful of really beautiful spots. But the majority of it, lots of industrial, lots of just boring nothing. And here somebody's letting me through. And this brings us up to Marie Curtis. And loads of driftwood piled up on the beach. Nobody's really coming to use it yet, so they'll probably come to clean it up soon. Okay, I'm going to take a stop here. I'll pause in the video, review the footage, and see if any changes need to be made. Okay, so the video Seems to look broadly fine. So I'm going to keep going with this same mount and see how that holds up, especially now with me going over this kind of much more abusive terrain. Can't really hold it upright, so I still have to keep adjusting the shake back and forth, the wobble. The optical image stabilization on this is doing shockingly well. It's just a matter of keeping it vertical, and that it's failing at. But that is a definite problem with the AliExpress mount and not a problem with the camera. So let's flip around now. The lake's pretty high. It's not the highest I've ever seen it around this time. A few years ago it was, on top of this pier. It's a couple feet below the pier now, but definitely higher than it is normally. So now we'll be heading away from Marie Curtis Beach and this park, and we'll be going along Etobicoke Creek to make our way to North Queen, and from there I can take West Mall home or something like that. We'll see. And then what I did forget to do was put on sunglasses. So okay, so one thing to remember, I can just pause the record, start. Okay, so I don't know if this path is closed or not. It was closed most of last year, which I remember now is why I didn't come this way. But I see people coming this way, so hopefully that means it's still open, or not maybe still open, but open now. I think the closure was related to upgrading some of the tracks via or Go or something. The electrification or something, I think it was this that was closed off. This or the next bridge. One of these bridges were closed. But it's good to see that it's finally open again. No, there's the next one, yeah. So it looks like they're still working on it. Lots of construction equipment around here. But at least it's open. But the next thing that I changed with my setup here is I've moved my mic. Keep your dog on a leash. So instead of clipping the mic to my collar, which then made my collar drop and had the mic face directly into the wind, I think that was causing quite a bit of noise. I've now used a magnet to attach it directly to my shirt, so it's keeping it more upright. And hopefully the pickup pattern works a little bit better like this. But what is nice about this mount for the camera is that it does get a bit higher, so I can see over things like this wall, I hope, I assume. We're getting a bit of flooding in this forest area. It's not usually got water this high up. I'm not sure if that's from the rain or from the river overflowing the banks. There are lots of people walking through the forest right now. So, in addition to kind of moving the location of my lav mic, to see if that's improved anything, I've also switched on the noise reduction. So hopefully that keeps the quality of my voice, whatever quality there is, and cuts down on the wind. Ah. And I just remembered I have two ways out of this park. I've got a really nasty climb that way, or I've got a nasty rock garden this way. Neither of which I am prepared for. Damn it. I think I'm less prepared for the climb. Let's do the rock garden. And then still I've got a nasty climb out of the rock garden. So I've traded one nasty climb for a nasty climb and a rock garden. Why? Why did I do that to myself? Okay, well. Oh. Well, that guy made it through, so maybe it's not as bad as I remember. Let's also see how well the camera handles this. Especially I can't really see where I'm going with my sunglasses on. Yeah. Oh, so much mud. And I've got a bald rear tire, so I've got no traction on the back. But it does look like they smoothed it out quite substantially since last summer. Most of the rocks have been buried, so that underpass under the QEW, the rock garden, it's much more traversable now. And I don't know, what is this? Somebody's doing some landscaping. Ah. Yeah, so for a long ride, yeah, there's no way that I can keep this mount. Definitely need another solution. And here we come up to this next terrible climb. Let's see how I do. And this will get all filled in the summer. This bridge is like 100 years old. This is the Middle Road Bridge. They built this in 1909. So 117 years. So that wasn't as bad as I expected. Not great, but I think I'm used to doing that climb after 50 or 60 kilometers. It's much worse at the end of a long ride. Right now, I'm sitting at just around 12 kilometers, a little bit over. And I really don't know how I'm gonna do 46K in 4, 5 days, 6 days, something like that. And if I'm this drained after 12K, the thought of doing 4 times as much with only a few extra days at best of training, oh. Now, in addition to the lack of training, it's going to be cold and raining all week, including on the day I need to get my ride in. So I don't know how that's going to go. Oh. Smells like something's burning around here. So coming down along this sidewalk, this camera is shaking like crazy. I'm really curious how well the image stabilization is going to do with this constant shaking. Okay, let's cross here. Hopefully I can hit that button and get proper crossing signal. So here we are at Queensway and West Mall. We're at the corner of Sherway Gardens. And we've got a car here that doesn't know how to stop at lights. Needs to be backed up. Here I've got a truck coming up on me. Let's give him a little bit of space. don't know where I'm going to have a chance to drop back down onto the road off of the sidewalk. Probably not until the next intersection. So West Mall is one of those really godforsaken, boring streets for biking. Basically from Queensway up until, I don't know, past Dundas, basically till Bloor. It's nothing. Until Dundas is basically industrial and commercial. With, I think, the most interesting or noteworthy attractions being a Pakistani restaurant, a car wash, and a Korean grocer and flower market. Up over here is a storage area for freight. Containers get offloaded from trains and stored here until they get shipped off to their final destination by truck. There's a few of those freight centers around here, around South Etobicoke. There's another one just off of North Queen. And sometimes when there's a big shipment coming in, there will be huge lines of trucks really blocking traffic for hours, just sitting there waiting on the street to turn into the yard to be offloaded. And here is one part of the Metro distribution center. Metro's claimed a bunch of property in this area. On the other side of the highway, on East Mall, there's the rest of the Metro distribution center, which is so big, it's connected by bridges. And you'll see a lot of limited use trucks that are used for just shunting trailers from one place to another, driving around the area to go from this location to the other location. If you look over here, I don't know where, just on the left-hand side, you'll see a couple of them. I don't know if this camera is catching that at all. And here's the Korean grocer I just passed. No flowers yet, but they'll be coming soon, I'm sure. There's a Food Basics truck. And here we are coming up across and over Dundas Street. With Cloverdale up on the right over there, which maybe you can or can't see. I guess we'll find out together, because I'm going to just kind of post this up to YouTube without really reviewing. Hope for the best. And here we are coming up in some little residential area. So this little low-rise complex, there are plans to tear it down and build up some mid-level rental units, which a lot of people are not happy about. I think added on to the fact that this is managed by some property management company that most tenants really hate for their abusive practices, trying to force people out through evictions, reno evictions, or stuff like that. And then I've got about 9 minutes or less to get home, or at the very least parked, because while I did skip out on work a little bit early, that doesn't mean that my work is finished. It's currently 4:52, and that's a strong wind coming out, blowing me into the lane. I've got a call at 5 o'clock, so that's basically in 8 minutes. And here we are coming across the 427 on Bloor. So 427, as usual, during rush hour is absolutely clogged. And I'm just thrilled I don't have to sit in that. Anyway, that's about that. I'll be coming home shortly. There's nothing exciting about that part of the ride. See you next time.